Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Karen Rice. Today we are going to paint a landscape. So I really hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started. So as you can see here, I've drawn the picture using an HB pencil. So don't always feel you have to copy the photograph. Use your interpretation and make it your own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use framing tape, which is a little bit like masking tape, to mask out the buildings. So just putting a little bit of strip here just above and really mask out that area there. We'll have a list of all the materials I'm using listed in the description below. I'll also have colour alternatives. So let's get mixing. So a big puddle of buff titanium, and I'm going to mix up a big puddle of cerulean as well. Even let a bit of that buff titanium run into the cerulean, why not? So I like to sort of have various quantities of the colour so it's not all one tonal value. Then load your brush, really load that brush, be very generous with it, and then paint sort of just above the mountains there with that buff titanium. So I'm just going to drop that lovely sort of paler cerulean into the bottom part of the sky and just paint that cerulean wash wet into wet. This is all wet into wet just at the top there. I'm going to mix up the buff titanium and cerulean for the sea. Look at that, it's beautiful and pale, and as it is in the photograph, a little bit more of the buff titanium in there just to green that a little bit more. It's a very subtle green, so just going to pop that in the sea area here and just run that along there. And this is kind of more damp into damp. Raw sienna, it's less yellow than yellow ochre, it's more earthy. I'm just wetting this foreground area here, and I am going to add a little bit of that cerulean wash just here and there, and getting some of that raw sienna and sort of painting around those blue cerulean sort of puddles I popped in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit of burnt umber. I'm going to mix it in with the raw sienna, just blend that down a little bit more here. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of blue to that just to neutralize it a little, going back and forth along the shoreline here just to create some interesting sort of sandy areas there using the tip of my brush. And this is all wet into wet. I'm just going to get a little bit more of that colour there, just swish it like that, swish, swish. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of the cerulean with the burnt umber. I'm just going to paint that furthest hill or mountain there in the distance. Don't worry about pencil lines, mine are quite dark, but it is just so you can see what I'm doing. If I were you, I would just sort of draw more lightly, otherwise they're kind of competing sometimes with the watercolour washes. So I'm going to leave this to dry and I'm going to come back to it. I always start off with the lighter colours first. So I'm just going to start off with that kind of buff titanium, or you could use the yellow ochre. And I'm just going to sort of paint that there, and then sort of maybe drop in a little bit of the ultramarine there as well, like that. And this is wet into wet, sort of coming down to the middle ground, and maybe a touch of that burnt umber as well. Get a little bit darker just at the top, just so that it kind of comes forward away from that kind of distant mountain. So you've got sort of layers. So just kind of adding a little bit of dark to the top there, doing that over here as well. And then using a clean damp brush to make your brush damp, just rinse the brush and take the excess water or paint off, and then blend and soften that. And then maybe using a little bit of that ultramarine burnt sienna mix and just sort of painting sort of few darker marks here and there, just to kind of create a few little markings in there as well, just to make it look more interesting. So that's the sap green. Again, you can sort of mix that colour if you want to, but I'm trying to make that sort of look quite interesting there. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Hansa Yellow Deep. You can use cadmium yellow. it's almost like a mustardy colour, so I'm going to add some of the burnt sienna to that as well. Add a touch more water. It's slightly thick, that. I'm just letting it run into that mountain or hill behind as well, and just having that. There's a lovely, lovely yellow colour just here as well, so I'm pushing that in there. I just love those colours, and just pushing that in to the paint like that, and maybe get a little bit of the Hansa yellow light as well there. Touch of the sap green as well. Push that in just around here as well. Might be a bit too bright, so adding a bit of burnt sienna there as well, just to make it look a bit more interesting. Touch more of that Hansa yellow light up to the house there as well. There we are. And just sort of vary those colours. I'm kind of going a bit brighter than the photograph just to make it look a bit more interesting. A touch of ultramarine here mixed with the burnt umber, but you can use the burnt sienna, and just push that in there. Load the brush, push, load and push. And then just coming down to the foreground, you can just mix up the burnt umber and ultramarine, a little bit darker. It's not really the foreground, it's more middle ground. And just sort of paint that up to the edge here. There's a lot of sort of shingle on the beach there. So touch of the sort of burnt umber or burnt sienna, and just sort of painting damp into damp here, using the tip of my brush, creating these sort of more interesting marks, and then adding a little bit more dark to the shoreline, damp into damp. So just going to soften that hard edge there. And there's almost kind of a cerulean sort of colour. It's just where my eyes are probably seeing that sort of colour there, just in front of the building. So I'm just going to put that along the beach for now, because it's all sort of shingles and stones, etc. Maybe there's a little bit of green there as well, just in front of that building. So just popping that in there as well, along with some of that cerulean. I'm just going to drizzle in sort of this lovely sort of under painting. So this is quinacridone gold. Again, you can use raw sienna or yellow ochre. And I've actually got a little bit of the sap green in there, so don't worry about that. It's a little bit contaminated, but not to worry. I think this is actually the darker rock there, but again, not to worry. Just have fun with it. You know, it's your painting, you know, your interpretation. Oops, that's far too bright. So let's add a little bit of Paynes grey to that sap green. It just sort of calms it down a bit. And I'm just sort of painting that down to the building. So I'm just going to get a little bit of ultramarine mixed with the burnt umber. You can use burnt sienna. And I'm just applying that to the damp paper as well. And you get these lovely kind of textured sort of rock effects there, which are really nice. I'm actually going to use a bit of the Ultra. You could use the Paynes grey. And I'm just going to sort of put some darker marks now onto the sort of rock area. I'm trying not to sort of let the card scratch the paper, but just kind of didn't mean to get that on the rooftop there. These things happen. Quite messy as well. So you can see there what the difference is, just creating those rock effects there. I'm just going to get a little bit of the brush here and just sort of dilute some of those areas. You've still got that lovely texture from what the card's done, but you're kind of sort of evening it out a little bit, smoothing it, creating a little bit more dark there on the edge there, just to pull that away from everything, that little smudge on the rooftop. In fact, I might just use it just as an under sort of painting for the rooftop there. That's nice. A little bit of maybe the yellow ochre as well, or raw sienna, just to kind of make everything look a bit even, and maybe a touch of the ultramarine as well. Just love watercolour. What I'll do is just sprinkle a little bit more salt, just because it'll break up hopefully that dark. That's actually worked quite nicely, that there, quite like that. So it's all looking quite craggy and delicious here. Putting a little bit more yellow here. Let's work a little bit on these rocks here, and I'm going to use Ultramarine and Burnt Sienna. So just pop it on there like that, and a little bit of the Ultramarine as well. Just going to mix up a little bit of the raw sienna mixed with the burnt umber. I'm just going to paint sort of wet on dry some of these markings on the beach. A little bit more burnt sienna, take the excess off. That just controls the paint so it doesn't bleed too much. More little marks just here and there. Of course, you could spatter these if you wanted to. So we're just going to do a bit of hard swiping. Oh, perfect. There we are. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. Now, it doesn't look exactly like it does in the photograph, but it just gives that impression there of rocks on the beach, etc. I'm really tempted to do something here, but I'm just, be patient, just wait. What I might do, actually, just, you can wait for it to dry, but I love taking a few risks in watercolour, of course. I'm just going to paint these rocks here to the right as well. Again, using the Ultramarine mixed with the burnt sienna or burnt umber, or even Paynes grey. I'm just going to paint that dark there. I'm taking a chance, and I'm just painting that there, and just painting that wet on dry using my size 8 round brush. Again, varying the colours, using a little bit of Ultra here as well. And so it's basically blue and brown, and you can just sort of vary that there. So they've got lots of little stones and everything there as well. I might swap to a smaller brush just to paint those here as well. So you've got lots of little stones in the water, which is quite nice. So I'm just sort of adding a few more darks in between the sort of gaps in the rocks here, just to make them look more interesting. You can do this wet on dry, or you can do it damp into damp. I'm just going to soften, just using some water there as well, just to create some more interest there in the foreground, and maybe even another little card swipe, why not? There we are. So I'm just going to do a little bit of, look at that, woohoo! I'm quite pleased with that. I love that green underpainting. Now that was a happy accident. It does really bring it to life. Just these little markings can make all the difference to your sort of beach area here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to peel off the buildings here very carefully. Now sometimes if you're worried about this tearing your paper, use heat on there, and it sort of softens the glue and it makes it easier to take off without tearing the paper. Right, so I've got a little bit of a dodgy bit there, not to worry. There is a shadow around this side, so I'm actually just going to, using Ultramarine, bit of the burnt sienna mixed together here, and just paint that shadow to the right of the building there. I'm going to paint in the windows using Ultramarine and burnt sienna. So don't make them too dark so they stand out too much. Just make them look quite natural. So it's a sort of a milky wash, not a really thick dark wash. Just pop them in there. You can always just add a little bit more dark to the corner of some of those windows there if you want to. I can't put one on the side at the moment because it's too wet. And of course there is some dark just between the buildings there as well. So I've watered that down a little bit there. So I'm just going to spatter a little bit of yellow just around this area. So I'm protecting my sky. I'm just using the Hansa yellow light, and I'm going to protect my water as well. Water that down a little bit more. There, that's quite nice. A little bit of dark. I think the spattering works better actually. Do a little bit over here as well. Dilute Ultramarine and burnt sienna, sort of 70% Ultramarine and 30% burnt sienna, so it's a grey blue. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow underneath the eaves. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that it inspires you to have a go. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below. And if you'd like to support the content that I create here on YouTube and get access to my weekly exclusive tutorials, why not think about joining my Patreon membership? You will get access to downloadable outline sketches and a PDF document with progress photographs, which will hopefully help you on your watercolour journey. Thank you so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.